water, so I'm trying to stay away from it. I don't want to pull it into the bloom by accident. I think that's the biggest challenge I have with these paintings is waiting for them to dry. Because my patience is very short when I'm painting. I like to paint fast and furiously, which is like my motto, paint fast and furious, but that's not how this works. You need to have patience or a really good fan. Well, I will tell you that we're gonna let those dry and then try to get this little blue blob to go away. While that is taking place, we can work on our bird's nest. The way that we make those little branches is we take one of the small flat brushes, knock the orange off if you did use it for the orange. It doesn't really matter which paintbrush you use for that. We're just using it to get around the round color in there. But you're just gonna load it up with the brown paint, and on its skinny edge, you're gonna touch the nest and then pull the paint up and away. And my green is still wet, so it's pulling the green off. So we're gonna go outside of the hat, and I'm gonna show you some branches. So see how it's just lightly pulling the branch away from the nest. Just so it looks adorable. It's just a little bit messy. Little birdie left little branches here and there. And we can put some little blooms on them afterwards. But I'm gonna have to wait for these to dry before I can do those ones. So once you've got your branches on, then you're gonna grab a hold of the nose color that we were just using. Grab some on that brush, and then the inside of the nest stays dark, but the rim of it, we're gonna put a few little scratches of that paint nose color. And we're gonna make it look like there's a rim to the nest. So I'm just going around the outside and pulling it kind of clockwise, making little dashes of paint here and there. Not entirely symmetrical, just kind of making it look fuzzy and rough so that those branches are just kind of hanging all over. But it's highlighting the ones on the top, because the ones on the bottom are all down low and it's dark in there, so you can't see them. But we're just trying to make the top of it look a little more disheveled. If you have trouble with it, you can always cover it back up with the dark color and then start over. So don't get frustrated, just keep working it back and forth until you feel like you've got what looks like a little birdie's nest. Oop, there goes that green. I also took a little bit of white. I also put a little bit of white in there too. Kind of here and there. Just a little bit. All right, we'll give that a moment to settle in before we do any other details. Now, going back to the blue hat, I'm just going to try to take some of this paint off. It's not drying. There we go. And I'll put it right there. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our angled brush, flat angled brush, and we're going to take a little scoop of the yellow and we're going to mix it into the green, the lighter green that we just made, and we're just going to create just a little bit of a springy looking green. So it's going to have a little bit more bounce to it because it's got that yellow that's just brightening it up. See that? So if you look in the cup, we've got the original green, the light of that color and then the yellow of that color. And again, we're just gonna load that brush up. And this is where we're gonna put all of these little viney things. You take it with the point pointing up and you just dab it. See how I just dabbed it like that? Just dab it. That's all you have to do to make these little tiny leaves. Like it's kind of like a vine. So it's gonna wrap around the back of the hat. So you're gonna do a few on this side, and you can kind of make it stick up if you want to. And then we're just gonna go down the side. And I kind of do a V shape. I alternate the brush. I lean it to the left, and then I lean it to the right, and back and forth. My blue, I feel like I'm a broken record again, is still wet. So as I'm grabbing the green, I have to wipe my brush off to pull that blue back off, or else I'm gonna have some blue in my leaves, which is not terrible, but definitely not what I'm going for here. So we're just gonna pull some of those leaves down the side of the hat, and they can get bigger as they go further down because they are kind of, it's growing, it's a big vine. Little dashes. And it doesn't have to have like the vine to hold on to. Like you don't have to put a vine on there. You can just float them. They're just floating there. And you can make them very bushy, or you can make them very delicate looking. And then don't forget to go around the bloom. Let's put a little bit of leaves around this bloom. And then that over here, we can build something up around this one. This one. Ooh, that got kind of symmetrical. Whoops. All right, let's try to pull that away. I don't like symmetrical. Also, once you've got a nice vine on here and you feel good about how it's looking, grab some of the yellow and just same dirty brush, grab some of that yellow and then just put some little yellow dots, not dots, sorry, that's later, yellow highlights on those leaves. So I'm literally just dabbing some yellow on top of that green. And you can see how it highlights a few of them. It just looks more springy and it's really pretty. Here and there. Yeah, this got very symmetrical over here somehow. Whoops. It's hard to paint on an angle. I think I might say that in all the tutorials, but I don't like painting sideways. I like painting straight on. Okay. Now, since we still have the green on our brush, we can grab a hold of a little bit more of it and make the little greeneries that sit over here as well. And the way that I did that is I took the same angled brush and I literally just made little dashes and little V's back and forth, but a little more bushy so that these little hydrangeas, or not sure what kind of flowers they are gonna build out of the top of them. So you just take that, and there's no yellow in these ones. This is just straight green. So you're just gonna build little, I don't want that to go in the nest, so I'm just gonna build this one over here to this little corner. And this is just gonna be for the hydrangeas to sit in. And again, choose as many as you want, add more, get them big and tall, however you see it, do that. That's what you need to do. This is the time we're decorating, and you can decorate any which way you like. I think that looks good. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. We're good. I've got some wet paint. I'm trying to knock some of that stuff off again. I don't know why it's taking such a long time to dry today. All right. So we're gonna go back to our roses now. And oh, I was gonna mention too, if your noses are not completely covered, like you can kind of see, oh, I got some green in that one too. You can kind of see through this one. You can put another layer on top and it will darken it up. So it's up to you If you feel like those swirls aren't covered enough, just do another layer on top of it once it's fairly dry, and you'll get a really good cover with that too. So that is definitely an option if you feel like you didn't get a good cover with it the first time. And then once you got the second layer on there, we're going to touch a little bit of the white and just smear it on the like the top round part. And that's going to make it look like it's a shiny nose. You can also put a little bit on the nostrils too. Just a little bit, just a touch. Just a touch. Okay, so go ahead and clean that brush off because we're going to use that same round brush for our roses. So remember when I said only mix up some of that so that way we made a little peach? Well, that's because we need some of that orange, that bright orange. We're just going to dip our brush into it like this. We're going to find the center, and then we're just going to swirl it out from the center right over the edges so that way we're covering up some of those leaves and making it look like it's all one piece. So I'll show you again. We're going to dip it right in the center and then just go around a circle, covering up the edges. Now, if you want to, go back to your old trusty white and grab a little bit of that, and you can smear a little bit into there too, and it'll make this really fun looking swirl. Super cute. And if you want, you could put a few little buds here and there too off to the side. So like I put one over there, one over there. That's just a little bit of the orange and the white. Just kind of dabbing a little bit in. Maybe put a little bud over here. A little more orange on this one up here. Adorable. Okay. Now we're going to work our way over back. I know we're kind of jumping back and forth, but I'm kind of looking at how things are drying. And, you know, you can take this out of order if you have a different idea, but if you follow along with me, we're now going to put on the blue blooms, which I want you to use the same brush we did with the green for the greenery for that. Just wipe it off or clean it off, either way. And take that lighter blue color that we have on the side of the cup. And then this one, we're going to start above the greenery and then make little dashes back and forth. And I make V shapes back and forth until you touch that greenery. And then the same thing over here. Start from the top, make some V shapes back and forth. Just kind of randomly, like feathering it down until it sits right inside that greenery. Look how cute. And then again, that's why we have the white cup by itself, is because it's so many different applications that we just keep using a little bit of white and everything. But if you can grab some white from the side of the cup and just dab a little bit inside of there, it'll give some dimension to those petals right there. Each little flower, little petal. And lighten it up just a little bit. Look at that, brightens that right up. Super duper cute. Okay, so now we're going to move to the nest. The nest is going to be, I'm going to show you that we're going to use the back of your paintbrush. We're going to dip into the blue, and we're going to use, see how it's on the back of it, and you're going to make the egg shape like that. So you're just going to go in there and make an egg shape, the back of your paintbrush. For whatever reason, it works really good. I'm just going to go with it. We're just going to use it. So the second one down here. And you can put as many eggs in here as you want. So whatever feels good to you. I went with 3. This nest seems a little bit bigger. But I think I'm still going to just put 3 in there. Oops. Don't drip too much blue. No, just three, just three. Get overzealous sometimes. Okay, and I have to go back and add a few more branches. You probably have all your branches in there, but I'm just gonna quickly just kind of add a few more over the hat. I like the way it looks on top of the hat too. There we go. All right, now that we've got some branches on there, we're gonna decorate it by using the back of our paintbrush again, but use a different one if that one's got too much blue on it. And we're gonna dip it into the yellow. And the yellow dots I put on this hat over here. And I just kind of randomly place them around. They're just kind of fun little sprites kind of like sprinkled around just here and there. Around the bloom, around his hat. It adds like a little bit of whimsy in this. Just a little bit, I think, is good. I just realized I didn't really highlight any of these with yellow, so I'm just going to put some on there because I think it's adorable. Okay. All right, now don't make your dots too floofy because they will drip, which that one just had a lot of paint on it. Unless you're painting on the table, well then you don't have to worry about that. So the next one is going to be the orange dots. So just take the orangey, or I guess some of them have more of the peachy color on there. If you have enough peach color, you might have to make some more. I'm kind of out here. But I kind of put them all over, and this was not my idea. This was one of my last classes. Somebody had made a nest, and they just absolutely hated how big their branches were. So what she did was she just put some blooms all over it. And you can do that by making a trio of dots, or if you really want to get fancy, you can make little like blossoms with 5. So just make 5 little dots super close to each other. If not, you can just randomly put some of these peach dots around the nest to give it also kind of a little whimsical look to it. I really feel like it just pulls it all together. You can put them in the nest, you can put them on the nest, you can put them around the nest. Whatever you think looks good. And as many as you want. Remember, it's up to you. Okay. Now remember those bumblebees we had over there? Hope you didn't forget about the bumblebees. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paint pen or Sharpie and we're just going to outline those right on top. So just their cute little body, their stripe, and their wings. So both of them, get both of them outlined. Oh no, I got a little blue on my finger and then I moved it up. I'm going to show you a little trick. What you can do is, if that happens to you, take a little paper towel with a little bit of water on it, and if you rub gently, look at that, magical, just wiped right away. Because this color is already dry, and then this one is still wet, so if you just add a tiny bit of water, it'll just lift it right off. Now if you keep rubbing there with the water, you will take the bottom layer of paint off too, because eventually it will dissolve and take off. We don't want that to happen. Now while the paint pen should be dry pretty much instantaneously once it comes out, you're going to take a tiny bit of white paint with one of those little tiny brushes, and you're just going to add a little white into those wings right inside of that little design that you just did. So those little bumblebees have those beautiful white wings. Look how cute. All right, and while you have the white paint out, we're gonna put white dots all over the bumblebees, all over the little hive right here. And the white just goes so cute with the bumblebees. Just kind of sprinkle them all over. Anywhere you think that they should be hovering around. Even outside the hive, on the hive, whatever makes sense to you. All right. And then, oh, I forgot to mention, while you have the paint pen, it might be a good idea just to do it at the same time. But you can put the little bumblebee trail on there, and you're literally just going to push it, turn it, and pull it back off. Because you want to make sure it gets a good dot. So push it, turn it, pull it back off. And just go wherever you think that bumblebee might have come from. Give him a little trail. Here's one. And this one, I'll make this one do the loop-de-loo. So he came out like this. He went around. And he made a loop-de-loo. So cute. All right. Well, I think that's everything. Did I forget anything? I feel like that was way too easy. Oh, the background line. Okay, see, I did forget one little thing. So you're going to take a little bit of that dark brown color, and you're just going to lightly tap on that line. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be completely covered. You can let the paint run out a little bit. It's a rusticy between the two boards, so it's just to get a little color back there. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all the way across. Just rub that paint on there. See how I did that? Super easy, very nonchalant there. I think I rubbed a little bit of gray on that one too, which you can definitely do. I just used the brown color from here, but you can grab a little bit of that gray too if you want to, and put a little bit in there. Just adds a little more fun. Now remember, you can add more flowers, add more dots, add more greenery, however you want to do it. And you can see that these two are slightly different. They definitely have their own flavors going on here. This one you can see some of the paint strokes. That's because this wasn't dry when I did the second layer, but when you do your second layer and it is dry, it will definitely cover. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I happen to know for a fact that somebody's birthday is happening, and this is the birthday celebration that they chose. So happy birthday. My birthday's tomorrow. So I think it's a great time to celebrate birthdays. If you like what you see here, please subscribe, hit that button, touch the like button so I know that you had a good time. And if you have any questions, leave comments below, or go ahead and get a hold of me on Island Girl Paint Party at Facebook, or Island Girl Creative Studio, which is also Facebook. All right, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so very much.